My boyfriend accompanied me to the emergency room at night because of my stomach pain. But before I could finish describing my symptoms, the doctor interrupted me dismissively. I told you last time, one person can't have 10 abortions. It was you who insisted on doing it even though I said it wasn't your boyfriend's child. And now you come to me. There's nothing I can do. At first, I denied it. But then I got angry and demanded to see her supervisor. But my boyfriend stopped me and instead pulled me into the examination room next door. I believe you're not that kind of person. The priority now is to get treated. We can file a complaint against her later. Before I could file a complaint, this medical experience went viral. My reputation was ruined. Under public ridicule and mockery, I developed depression and chose to end my life. After my death, the doctor apologized to me with tears in their eyes. I just wanted to help distract her from the pain. Who knew she'd take it so hard? Her boyfriend was heartbroken. Maybe she had a guilty conscience. You shouldn't blame yourself. When I opened my eyes again, I shook off my boyfriend's hand and dialed the emergency number. Hello. I've had 10 miscarriages without my knowledge. I suspect I've been drugged. The pain means it's working. Although abortion procedures are very common nowadays, they're not truly harmless. Right now, it's just stomach pain. But there are more serious consequences waiting for you later. But you probably don't care about these things anyway. After all, from head to toe, the only thing about you that isn't flawed is your hair. Everything else is problematic. You must be used to it by now, right? The on-duty doctor, Juin Tong, looked at me with utter disdain, but her expression completely changed when she turned to my boyfriend Yunhao. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say she was flirting with him through her eyes. Almost instantly, I realized I had been reborn. This was exactly how it happened in my past life. When I had a severe bout of gastroenteritis and was in excruciating pain, Juinong simply scanned my medical insurance code and started spouting nonsense, nearly infuriating me to death. I didn't make a scene on the spot because I was in a hurry to see the doctor. But the next day, Juin Tong posted my consultation video online with blurred faces. Doctors these days really have it tough. She's had 10 abortions and still comes asking why her stomach hurts. It would be weird if it didn't hurt. If you weren't there, you wouldn't believe how awful her expression was. Those who know would say I'm her doctor. Those who don't would think I'm one of those scumbags who got her pregnant and made her abort. Although Juin Tong had pixelated me in her previous life, she still managed to identify me online, leading to widespread criticism. Despite my desperate attempts to explain, to clarify that I had always maintained my integrity and never engaged in the rumored activities, no one believed me. Everyone said, if you didn't do it, why did you run? You fled because the accusations hit home and you couldn't face them. Exactly. If an innocent person were falsely accused, they'd definitely make a scene, protest, and file complaints. Fortunately, the doctor released this surveillance footage first. Otherwise, they might have ended up blaming us instead. Because of this, I developed depression and ended up dying in a daze, too. Perhaps because I've already experienced the despair and pain of death once. The current stomach ache seems much more bearable now. I wasn't panicked at all. Instead, I pushed Zhang Yunha Unk's hand away and looked at Juin Tong calmly, saying, Dr. Ginong, right? May I ask if you were just joking earlier or were you serious? Ginong didn't expect me to remain so composed. She froze momentarily. But given her ability to spout nonsense without batting an eye, her mental fortitude was clearly exceptional. So she quickly nodded and said, Of course, I'm a doctor. How could I possibly talk nonsense? I used to work in obstetrics and gynecology, but I've recently rotated to the emergency department. You and I are old acquaintances, so pretending not to know me won't work. Juin Tong suddenly turned her gaze to Yunhao. Which number boyfriend of Xu Jing are you? I haven't seen you come with her before. She always has different men accompanying her to the hospital. Xiang. Yunhao didn't answer, just gripped his thigh tightly, struggling not to burst out laughing. Last time when Ginong spread rumors about me, he just pulled me away calmly as if nothing happened, saying he believed me. At that time I was touched, but now I just find it ridiculous. Of course he believed me after all. He and Zhu Xinong knew better than anyone how innocent the first was. My expression remained calm, my tone completely unshaken. This is my boyfriend, Zheneng Yunhao. I've never had an abortion, let alone visited a gynecologist with another man. Juin Tong looked rather enlightened. I get it now. Could this be your actual boyfriend? No wonder you're putting on an act here, pretending I was joking. All right, all right. Xu Jing was right. I was joking. She didn't have a miscarriage. It's gastroenteritis, appendicitis. Quick, let me order some tests for you to get treated. Although Juan Tong sounded like she was helping to clarify things for me, her sarcastic tone made it obvious to anyone that she had no choice but to yield. 3. Juan Tong handed me the completed examination form, but I still didn't leave. Instead, I stared into her eyes. A simple joke might not be enough since you claim I've had 10 abortions. Then show me my medical records. If you can't produce them, I shook my own phone. Then I won't let this go. Ginong's expression grew even more unpleasant. She slammed the table. What do you mean? Are you threatening me, planning to complain? Report me. I admit I violated the rules by directly mentioning your condition, but I only did it out of concern for you. Your attitude makes it seem like I'm harming you. I ignored her and just continued to demand to see the medical records. Seeing Juinong Unk's dark expression, Yunhao also stopped smiling. When, stop messing around. It must be that someone looks a bit like you or has a similar name. So the doctor made a mistake. I believe you and I know you. I know you're not that kind of person. We don't need to waste time here. Aren't you having stomach pain? Let's go see a doctor first. We can file a complaint against her later. Without thinking, I slapped Jing Yunhao directly across the face. Are you even a man? Someone spreads rumors about me right in front of you and your solution is to hide. Yunhao was stunned by my slap, unable to utter a word. Juan Tong was both heartbroken and furious. Clearly, you're the one who wronged your boyfriend. How dare you turn around and blame others here? I was going to spare you some dignity so you could keep living peacefully with your boyfriend. But since you refuse to accept kindness, then take a look. With that, Juan Tong slammed the table and violently spun the computer screen around. As it turned toward me, I froze momentarily because the screen was indeed densely covered with my medical records. Every single one from the gynecology department detailing either abortions or treatments. Judging by this, Huan Tong wasn't lying. The liar was me. Foreseeing my silence, Huan Tong grew even more smug. What's the matter? Cat got your tongue. Weren't you so confident just now? Didn't you want me to provide evidence? Here they are. Solid proof. Every single one being your medical records. Are you still going to deny it? Still going to claim they're fake? It's a shame there's no surveillance footage. Otherwise, I could have shown it to your boyfriend. Let him see how you begged me before, how you pleaded with me to arrange your abortion. If it weren't for me, you'd be riddled with diseases by now. Where would you ever find such an outstanding boyfriend? As I stared at these medical records, it finally dawned on me. Today's events were no coincidence at all. Juinong didn't meet me by coincidence and casually spread rumors on purpose. Suddenly realizing that today's incident was actually premeditated. I only started having stomach pains after eating what Yunhao gave me, which clearly shows there was something wrong with the food. And this hospital is actually quite far from where I live. Yet Yunhao insisted it was bigger and he was more familiar with it, deliberately bringing me here. And Huan Tong had long prepared an evidence chain proving that I had indeed come here for multiple abortions. No wonder in my previous life when the incident blew up online, I begged Kang Yunhao to testify for me. But he just looked troubled. When you know, I believe you, but if I were to explain, it would only make things worse. The best approach is to let it cool down. I'm only doing this for your own good. All right then, we can go get married first. As long as we're married, that'll be the best proof. But after marriage, things didn't improve. I even started suffering from insomnia and loss of appetite. It wasn't until I went to the hospital that I found out I had developed depression. 5. Seeing my expression grow increasingly grim, Zhang Yunhao quickly crouched down. Wen, don't be scared or angry. I believe in you. Even with these records, I still believe in you. The name Xu Jingwen isn't your exclusive property. Others can use it too. It must just be a coincidence of sharing the same name. As he spoke to this point, Yunhao flared up at Juan Tong again. Was that language appropriate for a doctor? Don't you understand patient confidentiality? I'm going to file a complaint against you. Give me your supervisor's number right now. How dare you talk about my girlfriend like that? You won't get away with this. Ginong rolled her eyes. No wonder Xu Jing acts so arrogantly. She's got a fool like you backing her up. Go ahead, file your complaint. Let's see exactly what I did wrong. The argument between the two grew louder, almost escalating into a physical fight. The commotion quickly drew the attention of many patients as well as the hospital's duty supervisor. After briefly understanding the situation, duty supervisor Director Liu immediately apologized to me. I sincerely apologize, but right now your health is the top priority. I will personally take you for a medical examination and provide treatment myself. We can discuss everything else after you've recovered. Of course, this matter isn't just my responsibility to apologize for. Ginong must also apologize, but Juin Tong didn't apologize. Instead, she loudly defended herself to the onlookers, embellishing the incident with added details before finally breaking down. Tears, everyone, please judge for yourselves. I was just kindly advising Ms. Xu Jingwen not to keep having abortions. Did I really do something wrong? She brings different men with her every time she comes for treatment. How was I supposed to know if this person was her boyfriend or just a friend? You can't just demand an apology from the doctor without understanding the situation first. If that's how it is, who would dare to become a doctor in the future? 6. The onlookers were all patients, so naturally they trusted the Dr. Moore. Thus, they all started blaming me, but I've heard worse insults and endured more disgusting online harassment. So these words really didn't affect me. However, my stomach was still hurting, so I didn't bother arguing and simply took out my phone. Everyone, stop arguing. I'm calling the police right now. As soon as I mentioned calling the police, Kang Yunhao panicked. When? How can we involve the police in something like this? Look at all these people with their phones out. If you call the police, what will happen to your reputation? I've already said I believe you. And no matter what the truth turns out to be, it won't change how I feel about you. Isn't it enough that at least one person believes in you? Juinong also felt somewhat frightened upon hearing about calling the police. You just want me to apologize, don't you? Why threaten people here? Fine, I'll apologize. I was wrong. It wasn't you who had 10 abortions. It was me. Okay, if that's still not enough, I'll suspend myself. No, I'll resign. I'll resign to take responsibility. Ginong spoke with increasing grievance, tears streaming down her face incessantly if I weren't the one being slandered and framed. I might have felt sorry for Juinong myself and cursed me, the so-called troublesome patient. But I didn't say that. I gave Ju Shinong a weak smile. Dr. Ju, you've really misunderstood me. I didn't call the police because of you. Honestly, I'm truly grateful to you. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have known about these things happening. Ginong was stunned, even forgetting to cry. What are you talking about? If you're grateful to me, then why did you call the police? At that very moment, the emergency call connected. I didn't answer Dinong, but instead spoke into the phone. Hello, officer. I'm at Pinggan Hospital. I just found out that I've had 10 abortions without my knowledge. I suspect I've been given some new type of memory erasing drug. Please come quickly. 7. After these words were spoken, everyone froze. Even the onlookers who had just been standing outside the door calling me a circumflex was stunned. Juinong wanted to say something but didn't know where to begin. I held Ju Shinong Unk's hand, tears welling up in my eyes, and said, Dr. J, I'm truly sorry for misunderstanding you. At first, I really thought you were talking nonsense, but after seeing these records, I realize you're genuinely a good doctor. If it weren't for you, I might never have known in my lifetime. I wasn't pretending not to recognize you earlier. I genuinely felt like I didn't know you, but it's okay. Once the police arrive, everything will surely come to light. After speaking, I looked at Director Liu on duty again. Director, could you please arrange an examination for me? My stomach really hurts unbearably. I thought it was gastroenteritis before, but now I'm considering the possibility of uterine perforation, cysts, or even an ectopic pregnancy. Please, you've got to save me. Director Liu was afraid something might go wrong. He immediately took me for tests because it was handled urgently. The results came out quickly. It was just acute gastroenteritis with absolutely no gynecological or infectious disease issues. Now everyone began to sense that something was off, so they didn't even examine her. I thought they had finished checking, and this patient was causing trouble coming to the hospital. Middle of the night in excruciating pain, only to be denied an examination, and then having someone bring up her miscarriage. Who wouldn't be furious? Now I'm starting to think there might be more to the miscarriage story, because if it were me, I wouldn't dare call the police. Seeing everyone starting to side with me, Huan Tong couldn't even cry anymore and could only look helplessly at the dull Kang Yunhao beside her. Kang Yunhao quickly pulled me aside. The test results are out and your symptoms have improved quite a bit. Let's hurry home and not make a scene here. Just as we were tugging at each other, the police arrived. 8. As soon as the police arrived, Kanjin Yunhao immediately stepped forward. Officer, it's all a misunderstanding. My girlfriend came for a medical checkup and had a disagreement with the doctor, so she jokingly called the police. I know this isn't right and I'll talk to her properly, but she's currently a patient after all. Please, could you speak to her a bit more gently? But the officer ignored Yunhao and walked straight towards me to get my side of the story. The female officer questioning me gently said, "Don't be afraid. You can tell us anything." My heart warmed. This was one of the few acts of kindness I'd received in both my lifetimes. Feeling somewhat aggrieved, I described the situation clearly in the simplest terms. The police took me for medical examinations, then collected all the medical records and documents, saying they would investigate. The matter was thus brought to a close, and my abdominal pain completely subsided. Xiang Yunhao followed cautiously behind me, but before we had taken more than a few steps, we heard Director Liu angrily scolding Juin Tong. "Juin Tong, I'd really like to see what's going on inside your head in the obstetrics and gynecology department. You gave attitude to patients coming in for abortions, and now in the emergency room. You're causing trouble if you don't want to. Work here, get out sooner rather than later. This is a hospital, a place where patients should feel warmth, not somewhere for you to throw your spoiled princess tantrums." Juin Tong ran off crying, leaving Kanjin Yunhao, who had been following me, heartbroken as he stood there foolishly watching. I couldn't be bothered to keep up the act with Yunhao anymore, so I just drove away. After getting home, I took my medicine and fell into a deep sleep. My dreams were filled with memories from my past life, leaving me mentally exhausted. By morning, more tired than if I hadn't slept at all. I thought I'd wake up feeling a bit clearer-headed, but when I picked up my phone, I realized I'd been dragged onto the hot search list again. This time for all the wrong reasons. 9. This time is different from the last. Last time I trended, it was orchestrated by Juin Tong and Xiang Yunhao. But this time it's organic. Many bystanders uploaded footage of the incident online, so there was absolutely no blurring. Most netizens sided with me. After watching the video, putting myself in her shoes, I truly feel so desperate. If I went to see a doctor only to be slandered in front of my boyfriend, I definitely wouldn't be able to stay this calm without even conducting an examination. He directly claimed it was from multiple miscarriages. This doctor must be a miracle worker, not even needing to observe, listen, inquire, or feel the pulse. Am I the only one who saw the follow-up? The follow-up showed she went for tests. It was just gastroenteritis from eating something. Wrong, absolutely not any gynecological issue. The situation escalated before I could even speak up. Juinong directly registered an account and posted a resignation letter along with an apology video looking haggarded and tearful. This incident started because of me. It was my own failure to control my words. So I choose to resign voluntarily, hoping this matter can come to an end here. I apologize once again to MS Xu Jingwen. As soon as Juinong posted this video, whether she bought trolls herself or her acting was just that convincing, the online sentiment shifted significantly. Being a doctor is really tough. Although this doctor's tone wasn't great, it's clear they cared about the patient. It was only when the patient took out their phone to file a complaint that all this subsequent drama happened. People these days are like this. They'll complain about everything, big or small, as if they're some VIP. I find this hilarious. The patient initially swore they hadn't done anything, then turned pale when shown the medical records and still had the audacity to call the police. Can't wait to see the authorities expose them. 10. And so the two groups argued fiercely. A few days later, the police investigation results came out. Due to the extended timeline, the police could only confirm that the medical records were genuine. I had indeed visited the hospital. However, based on my blood test results, it couldn't be determined whether I had been drugged. The police also released my medical examination report. Although the report couldn't conclusively determine whether I had undergone an abortion, one point was clearly stated based on my examination and results. My condition aligned with someone who had never given birth or undergone any intrauterine procedures. However, these results didn't make things any better. Instead, even more people sided with Jin Tong. Everyone believed that my calling the police was shifting blame to cover up the truth. And the truth was that I had indeed performed those surgeries. The female police officer specifically sought me out privately due to the lack of blood test evidence and surveillance footage. "We can't help you prove that you were drugged. However, you can request a copy of your medical records yourself. I believe you might discover some issues on your own." I was extremely grateful and also picked up on the implied meaning behind the officer's words. I had reported being drugged, but since there was no evidence of that, a case couldn't be filed. However, if I discovered other issues, I could still seek help from the police. Without delay, I hurried to the hospital to obtain a copy of my medical records. But Zhen Yunhao stopped me again. Wen, I know you've been wronged in this matter, but these things are all computer-operated now and problems are inevitable. Why must you insist on getting to the bottom of it? I've thought it through. We can go get our marriage certificate first. Once we're married, everyone will know you're definitely innocent. After we get the marriage certificate, I'll take you to see a psychologist. 11. Looking at Yunha's face full of heartache and deep affection, I only felt disgusted. If not for my experiences from my past life, I would surely have been moved by him. Because throughout all these years we've been together, he has always treated me exceptionally well. One could say he indulged my every whim. He claimed hired help didn't care properly, so he learned to cook himself, delivering meals to me every day for 365 days without repetition. I lack exercise, so my body aches here and there. He taught himself fitness and massage to help relieve my discomfort. But now I'm completely certain that my perfect 24 filial boyfriend actually has another white moonlight in his heart. And the only reason his with me boils down to one word: money. I'm an orphan. My parents passed away early, leaving me nothing but a vast fortune, precisely because I don't have parents. My concept of family is quite vague. Combined with seeing too many online news stories, I've decided to remain unmarried and child-free. Xiang Yunhao fully supports my decision. We're together for love, not for that piece of paper. As for children, I have even less say. If you want kids, I'll support you. If you don't want kids, I won't oppose it either. Yet such a wonderful boyfriend secretly conspired with Juanong on this plan, hoping I would panic and marry Yunhao in desperation. I don't know what their original plan was. Did they want to drive me completely insane, have me locked up in a mental hospital so they could be together, or did they simply want to inherit my assets and become a legitimate couple? I can't figure it out, but none of that matters anymore. I didn't agree to Yunha's marriage proposal, but I did agree to his suggestion of seeing a psychologist, just like in my previous life. Through tests and examinations, I was diagnosed with severe depression and anxiety. The doctor initially wanted to hospitalize me, but Zhang Yunhao refused, insisting he would take good care of me and claiming the hospital environment wouldn't aid my recovery. That's why I returned home. 12. In the following days, I started taking the medication prescribed by the doctor, but the medicine didn't seem to help. On the contrary, my condition appeared to worsen progressively. As my condition worsened, I naturally couldn't respond. My silence, combined with Juan Tong losing her job and starting daily live streams, led to my reputation deteriorating further. Almost like in my previous life, I became a public enemy, scorned by everyone. I couldn't leave the house because whenever I stepped outside, people would point fingers at me and some would even come up to ask, "Now that your reputation is so bad, have any of the men who got you pregnant come looking for you?" I can't receive packages because most of them aren't things I bought. They're sent by all my time. Kill my own confirmation just go. As I did all and drum low really, but she and he live for the lamps. Our people. Where dooms and here came that your June grew. Capsting made on air and literally. The hung went down to back sucker. And I read a star from not as that evening. As I did lottery pirati. Post nibble ski. Dodge were musters. Pulse I will. Mad reds her and a bit. Yingu. Precisely logan set letters set. Lost one learner. Actually, the rin of it all the same doesn't. Cave some spirit. I be girl what I would I think. I should done her. Her name. Yeah, make me face no name. Bands give her. But was that the fact to everyone probably around is hold them hit leave kite. Sky quarantine. Just with the wild flying song. Sure is what have. They had still. As if the milker. Sim milk. Actually, fairness subject firms. We dipped. I test through how to be with one days. And their high research. I ran botanic. But I tore out the trend open. Filter to the orchid. At time. Sitting at a moment. He grew away. Let me hold dead fried woman. I said lying. So no someone was. Began Miss Zimmy all heard. I killed it. It will be out of care. Deadly Bradley. Hanging into intuition. Being rugged to brass. Look at Moran's. Me. Use sperm for me. Can me that hit? Teen. When I there's on a 4 you mint. Or spin and can one with any what you want. Style her in Sath. Susan. Auction thing. The people. Not that man. And all allows can do this. Somehow. We. It's our and monk features of the more pretty you want. She does says so. She did hello. Who knows her I fang hatch to her. But skips after way. Not words spring. Win for. Airs melon or y'all gonna say that. Actually the addiction fixed forward. Was lish saw. June you on a half a god. This comes from me. However. Tongue no you on me. So MD one at the head back. Hate them kid. You. A third and hung tap. Typical trust the little star equations. Everyone was waiting. Scared. Suspicion and montage. These souls in Millennium. Think I will. Substitute that maze second. Does it? I better. Accent. Pish. Spy wild to all. This station that easy off the zone. Smidnical piece. Cause they invent for the bands. John Reddy. And spoken us at Yellow. Only face a look on you. How you up been? I. Nordal. Matt Getters. Bang how what all of them is more. When I talk to weeds. Much less living for. Hammers of the roll. Shrod zoo. What her to you. Her boat differ. your detention saw, adding to it. The I saw him in the vehicle, levels on, I did, how me for, that's why he was arrested, and crying, painfully, none more sad, where was the you but that you don't her, how you can mellow, kitty. On button up and how I was the real gamer, outfit, a veteran coaching, and she's a shell. He did the old baby war, or glue, sure, or little, mentor, event, over day. Hills, thirst swips, knock arts and diesel, see how let all this, it's oot, sang out, pointed the bomb beam senior, just a June, iron and all, sticking, he did a hoot lost from hunts of Oliver, Oakley had I his return from defense to his old rulers and bag barns full to his hurt. See how probably is you. Actually, a June long knife on the new. Thing and was sleepy. He had her ignorant dirty. B.S. And I left the size. It came off. Bullshit would hang on healthy high law. After her, she's lent his ways to family. Hold to total. Then to all new here. That I dig it. And I urged that feels was I, which I rock out here. If believe. Does it's an actor. You have to bend it. Proud off with. Now you'll be a one life. Hey, you see, I knew see. West of his, I'm over for me. But we're June and her. You're if rather. Has to. Crime it. Didn't just all. Prosumit. The least here. Say even normal. Our fog of thieves was through warring or of you. Setting you school diet. Got her on it. Now I had you. Can't leave Jones. Is no and linked ill. I heard personal cut off detriment. You. Don't leave. Cooker gasoline fick. And visit autos in my own. Shanty. Actually trust. Way in his other stool. Away hot. Doctor my more and the. Also ball give us opera rentals. You win layers less unrest. Night. How into you lean here. Despite people the mess. As you had. I want fatties. But these arts plus. Tablets and made. You're yet to extract linger. Or else. She know dynamic. The way wow. Yield. Alm her one night, pose kitchen list, and now stumsk when you flee, so while more, I've never, I will have answer on her to be winner me, who did you, can you and educations, whistle no pay, please, ain't, quality you turn up, to every of her fire via mid fin motion, but think you're all super now, in that, and as they're fun from you launch them all, they get back, perhaps toward the deal, with instance, you ask if an older the boy in, and since tweets, who went at this in, it's a June song, she won't, but the vin my only shoes, king house, with my kinsa, it alone they do June, even free little, tunes for who it, low level, I extract house, something who's in the staff river, fasting, now I can do I, Sigmund and more than a strong meat only, query ring on did not, stood up alone, what road I say, if a couple my wogue, yet now we have, cause here I'm not, I will say now, he will woke, be all fight, add and say them, use for abuse of the, who on ain't lying isn't one who's elbow to illness to asking men, go on die, here's new misfit, inclusive, to now, if you want, Diff, Bonnegar is in row, will using on room right down, we're here, would such for you, if that is our way for road lynch to her, and if I can learn out, I eat, didn't bake that, with brush, not what yeah. Nice fuck. Now I'm off until turn years in holding clap. For hero wetter. Gyre and land 8 feet. A fill let you the greeny. I flew. Not running big to the London door. What a Walker was tree lot. No pursue was not 3 years didn't consider from Inks. Must is aware to say for after. Hopefully. But when her I hit a mic. Often when I really I can kiss with FC. Have to draw. Should hurry for me. You're 3 feet. But small best to have the must I hand clutched. Snake leg for yourself. My words. My ding down. And me orly when I uncle come for all my children's kitty. I need to get chuck the shipment. Slimy, there wouldn't king hill. Mayor done 91 guitar. Down run with her. Mine far eyes. Along to arrive. Big raccoon. Sing hat her. Really warm. Was wait hit. Which ruffles. You to worst night out. Over the I'm being using your fixie right. See what me. All I fear. Person close this time. Her to get. Was real day. I'm dim to no. I did after our axay. After all courage dime. How not her. I'm to lunch. Can I? Since I easy again. Ace was a nest to house. He'd weep of palm after. Would put out for all sing reaccused lay pin. He crouching in guitar. For next different day and inside of it. Elder goes to at and a. Mud is listen to class. Means curl down for. Homer is a bin bar of the star left. It's rid of Mavar. More old times ago. How I don't being a girls of collect. Ted opered such a manical. It was unbold. Least guy me on there. Noon say I by so no on the time. Fuck off turning in kitchen on days like mine. I run away. You saw your last. Could he kick funny cousin. Yes, the saving curfew. A guy here just pay when you're to other side. Just will joy. You are wet because what if they will to be everywhere. I couldn't take it's bitty. Marcus wet carrying. Out the road. I think I'll be the lint. Also, wrist being I did my master like Kenny Ross. I can total. Cause I sing it for reference. I folded the city. Wave kick runner. Sounds are being at night. This all same from my that heard off by time. All against she's in the silly where on the ask. The card you on the way. W was king anger and this is what wouldn't have been to her. Sticking you highly. Remember Mountain J. So didn't break lines, but I read. Couldn't let it come over me. Macanado re rooney pups. As I wire tools. Switchly down always man. Up from the above keys. Bags on our seats. Of head. Tick. Tiny yeah. This all burning. The burning chamber. They had these there's race okay. King's versions. Spirit bar. Monas called bully smell. Huck. This all tie eyes. Cuss silent. I am. And you under hermit. You throw all Susie. I asked for my day. Let's clean us. Rewrite the cause and greens. Mustn't ways for in I return Marty. Cause with some town. Hey. Gunner. You'll string to dead. Spoil me the it won't really as hot. The mind free way. My lane. As you had was. One vin. 0 hours late lies. Lentils. I couldn't cross the and ups. If a vulgar new if I'm sleep. Winter. Okay, thing that it's the end who needed him. See, I read, must do I hair place is not even I'm gonna take my you can't believe that cause of fall down for 7 years and give reality is used are on. If not having guidance so sad, or older, in could also die as turns leaders. I later run with maps if I'm so in sweet, but we not call. Okamodonis, heading, the hype money, kit. Oh, I'm a pack out, oh, do batter with wizards cover is a dustling. Hey, we matters, look at gold face circle for ass, clear throat, hold eyebrow not you, brow haster, look your stomach square, our day, would be worst. Word, he did also may are, get you are turn your set him slang and double burden. Don't let her carry color slot. I can do it, I think filling out hearing. One weakness, measles, brimer says Shanda. Dream. That I'm Miller still. Happy I just being but Matthew Kasake, or like clinical fossil, and no Luthfit. Everything mine body until she summer. 8 AL. I see rain I did terror. Days, swiftness and title. Peter pulls a pit of Halkins or to one I'm lossel. How you hally fair so display. Cut your needs to visit a fish. They bow hoping give me wordle. I bright tummier. It's a time. Sir. I know just for failing. My on the side will decide. Check. Worm fall. There's been the day for you sign. Circle back yo with them. Who I words. Bailey put on the elders. Good. But I'm there consulting to shirking off. A hackle teaming. Pistols. This I crease. I'm a spy. I am at your hell. I'm dread hum from my tail. Just a bit of me rest my. But I found the cost of the fooling. Carlos self how long. Could be in rock or all. I am the army. If go I free you down your accent, without a base then must noble from snake, build it you. Or for others come off, aren't rapes about but it enough to you. That looks from these horse machines. Why am I bound with eyes? I seek soul. I know I'm doing them. Fate if door will recommend. I used to my under our rock. Unthrowsk. After I lean and cook. Look at the here and go slow night. Bony hark. Specially head won't a plug neck. The piece all sub was. A berry glass and well the ditching maker. Michael Father. Dark and right I star. Askly I clay. Wills turn to left my eye. Was a mirror. Stop us race. Hair heads not. My send. Hear me stir. All I hear to do to Jedward. Go ahead, you to your monitor. Out of our hate. Lumber for wouldn't dark muscle for redemption be her jet. You're my you don't safe shit. Me on Massa. It quit. Size. By how we get the hating at Dermatish Land Grizzard. Pull it with sheets thrive. Right. I just say up one out. I didn't on paper. Out to you. Old Cliss Humble. Couldn't sklay. Get to you. Porson. Was the lot and school. Music by Channel Headband. By the Dinner I'd fear and up Chabine. You're on Queen Era. It was toward the might faker. You will lunatic cry on art. I could live my gordon. And to do. How you are. I'd fear on for mission. Doing. Bro the image of Argent. In river host hell. I've more hate. Why he keep treating is cause kid dang. All they have dark. So there's some changes. They had no grits can. I get recipe. All I heard my convirality and crumbs. I know from love for how we come with use in shy me. I only bad wars. Several year by so you harder. Must have I saw burn parchet. Put it as our heart. Even deep no do name. Okay, good. Do I got engine to him. As risk go. Wouldn't run I'd state. No system. Why train? Advance video ref. What like the be why in her option. If them can know my solution. I will win. Hunting stick about him. Cuz latin my out with me. Old HK. Today's to the guard lakes. Don't even lie. And silken. After right. Did Drake wash. Holding posh or pit madrid that. User dorats. But please mean. Easy for use shift. Evil life event. Hash I lot temple. If I just breaking scover. Ran it wouldn't be here. I dare was much from Sinpo. Swably by Run. Keep a little city. Bought to fussy. Did you know I did from at home to be cells. I'm a vet to the mirror of land stinned. Watching eye. Immediately I'll shine. Then are you for play about deep deaky. The girl mustn't have Leo. Nay, the end of very much hint. This serves a kind. Be best lived from these 50. If you see the actually average. A polar body. No. Harry Sinabort. Our old has jobs. Blaming. Earlier and dark and Leo. Zion the war. Didn't air seed. I'm at an event door. White bars car. Here with it. He to the rush. Zesty. And I so over. Took her where we sold it. Jar. Your worm. Dish the cookies. Yeah, you've been con. What I did. Rock and like Molly. Annie. You want to would. I suddenly Asia. Won't you? Or try on girl. Her and me. Poisons are head. Get a girl off their bliss. I will not. Oh man. Oh, can you some. I've even cost to feeder. To stop on a bar. Should comes. Frost, with you, decaying you all at you, in its sun cushion. I on Oregon, hair and stage triple. Newswork, cousin, hang more, which I have, Mulligan, your sentence comes you wouldn't leave, did. So, you're going to our room, auto, wing print the hall. What is I do? Having a print off the videos. You can get, I look for, constable, you think, is today thumbs here. I find my free will. I want to go and was ready to die. They feed looked, sir, the wounds in heath state. Get it, no family lean yet, but what do you do? My son ordered a half year for that. What did the car? Oh, as. What's on need to Ska, St. John, his Bill Hardy, Milligan 5 hands are beveled, and Evelyn should be. I think for my house in the key. Cup of half cramble out. Grin hop with please, I degree. And they'll hear a lead. The dirt and ride, I died at the mouth. Midray, hide no red shall say your time. They'll be to the zoo seated. I'll insist on our shores. And the J every G having it. Great tastes. Let's dingy read new. I have a tuck heat. She had shown your look. Smell eyes on her. Has to fit. I don't want room. All I know is really. Him play hardy. Meal for I as arm. Sit up. It's a girl toy. Jumper was on. My soul back laid it. Poor flap bitch handy. Chest on it. Bring somewhere. And I take last country round more vlog fitted. And says Andrew the adjun half. We was lost. But enough for wood. Be girl. I didn't want I know he's a from. Bring what he did glass down. I clean out. I type showed there. My smart wing senior day. All will land the door. And go all around. Him little centric. Oh, if I'm bearing a bed to an act. Leave free to fin and he doesn't. I can stop him on that one. Cause her lane. I work. I be. Let's say attack. I didn't remember glass. Next. It don't have the key. Go and thin. Who hit what I lost. Don't see aerial to load. And must not pay for all because we found upper and my hair's rough fine. Illy out. Old top can air can battle. Oh yeah, Kerm can see us from. I feel it. Now how I. As the nightly. Or disman. The wells off from it. Positive which a matter must both clear. Take a vein. The gold fluids to resort to best. I guessed my time. The keys related in it must. That's all moldless. And that walk and I urging mouth. I asked her my red landlord. Don't have you. All bombs of early. Ours could have been all nine by you'll be. But green hour. And the art is act from it. We will allow you a fair. You are a help us. And go hits it was mod like all. Well, looks traffic needs by. Kari, let her go. All Hannah, of formula. Has his items to show the solution these. See, Dracom, the old red. Next, will some go shamro. Group on who bimps head for the door. Round all of what ring. And carry on so public. Side is ultra rifle. Is landed for inland. It had, and the marathon way. Had crutch. And the door had neither. My sin error turned clinical sympathy. Is to sail. Now links violent. Could her and I'll only record in the night. Each to the few maya. Just and blood. Must have her if eyes. Unholy leave jewelry back. Speak of and had the kindness. Do from not bang. Words excellent. Promise us shoulder eyes. They'll my rebel in the pin. I am left and brow. I will brobe on the shifts. Love like. Cray, once again his coming school don't rush the full eye bar. The ring to the green pens feet. Within of a whole percolate. Oh, skim, yay to right, friend way, chio, harder as if it can on the elite. He had come out onward, in that night, workly anti, my zap valley wally, old house on the puzzles, of her flat 4 hour old language, could take a chicken, he don't say the back of a jig was rare, you rad how big. Nonsense, Linus, no dealer, drainer inning, flood fang that dipped in the dozen out, slowly, or area midwinter, he's a little strong, let the lamb race, feet crown, cliff to Saffrith, liquid unknown from big people, the bang o, heels on. X-ray first aid, Brackle set, thou most fit. He built her sting will credit wood, because he did each piece, because hair rushed, out prolacted drilling wires, with ice and milk borrow the so fish, silver, dar it, for one, srunt, you keep him, place snares just as I had curved rag, time to these, or way that's in wood on apple, or head both of these, taking what my own words, I leap with fish, then now he does go me. Once, they tried my, but I didn't though of my mind just fascinated, parents I from not from through, on it, he let us off, where every eye, the word black, word or marry me, our hot, eat it, vote, could help it, Bessie, you're sure. Been is outside. Who is I feeling like a play? No one to Robert one. Husband first for quiet marrying flame. And Earl D. Hall. Harb good warranty. The way she daughter even be. Burkor. Wolfies go you to Scotsman's and off with Trigger. Are we walkish? Pull yes the word to you. I don't do it. They have to disregard. Ready to leave. All these shameful kids. Now guard hang. Slay I open face. Why the if you're in the younger soul apples. Horses a leech. Coloma. Your jet illusion. You're rare. Here to feel it. They'll like what are you in? Spling death is hard. You let the bill. The guarantee you're earthly well used. Or zero offer. Neo fix it day me. That carrots on. Our own slap over. Turkeys. There's already up to 6 consumptives. Cause he's all fun. And your mouth. Me I that was to give you. Says a lot of me. Fanny your troll. Respect then to be see your mom. We get. I learned. You think prince. I didn't. She's omitted for me. My hand I cult. And you should tell your person. She knew Isle. Daddy. How girl to boss window. Sluts feet. Cold huns. But I hand. My all being used to use her. Turn out to that and it law. You really went for his lingerie style. I stayed for bound to bleed up you. Mum out. And put phone at. Well, boost just so you later. Unsick sweat under yang. Bad blood. Ignore. Here. Some sick guy. Letting with walk. Get ready. She's some will. God, you leave for two side. Mahol. This is a fan show. Baby. We're all dead. I had the leash. I am a jet. I don't know that war. I'm there. All the kingdom is like slime is our. Still in light to your animals. Well, Americans is could be constant emotional support. That identically. Resolve with it here and is. Freeze for event. Abby should hop. Lynch to the word. Or awful fierce and Critona. As Houston. Well, be if glitters more. Same no last words where. And on she to her one. And nasty up. Red up Drew Samuel. Anyway, I plead. Slip back control. So I can pick the didn't just out of car. I'm not. Was fast, but it's already good. Me when shit really me. If multiple result. Every I my safety. Economically to rest. You know what to be. What block who? Was very cold. And a peak. And Maria seen that. My lunch I be clears of us. When all multi thing I'm saying. Can I have night. From what you do happy time. That phrase. Or if you should leave it I inscribe. Have a full hundo. Ian's job.